The left foot, he swings it in, and it's in! The opening goal for Indiana. They strike first, and the Hoosiers open their account here at Jerry Yeagley Field in 2018. Hansen now. And it's stolen away by Langford. Here we go. Romeo Langford throws it down. The crowd in Bloomington loves it. So there you go, Romeo Langford in the open floor, showing you what he can do with that athleticism. Then he almost forces a steal, and he finally does. Morgan to Smith, and he throws it down. The Hoosiers playing above the rim. Lloyd on third, Miller on second, and Sowers on first. The pitch. And it's right down the right field line. It's going to get down, and this game is over. Scotty Bradley, a walk-off single, and the Hoosiers get the sweep over Northern Illinois. Who is it going to be? Now it's BKB, as we are about to see the white flag from Chappie Blackwell. This is going to be the bike race, and what a finish we have. Here comes Grey Goat. It's Cutters as well. Blackie Bulls and Sigep following right behind, but it's Cutters and Grey Goat. They lead going into turn two. Sam Stratton on the bike right now for Grey Goat. He's trying to pull, but it's Cutters pulling ahead. Cutters, the leaders, coming around turn three. Now it's Grey Goat catching up. Blackie Bulls on the inside. It's a sprint to the finish for the 68th Little 500, and it's going to be Cutters. Cutters are back on top.
So Hoosiers, a new shot clock and a 4-point lead.
Plus, Johnson, your big post presence, has 4 fouls now.
Yaney steps outside for 3. Rebound to Brandy Bisping. Pre-Sierra now, the Iowa transfer. First game for Milwaukee. Underneath, and it's stolen away. Ball on the floor. Wright gets it back. Sierra, a long 2, no good. Rebound comes to Papberg, and the Hoosiers will run. Papberg all the way to the basket. Can't get the bucket, but she does get the foul.
Really nice Euro step there. I thought she was going to get it to fall. Almost did. 2 more free throws for Allie Papberg. She's shown a real innate ability to get to the charity stripe a lot here, especially in the second half.
She seems fearless, just not afraid of the contact, and finds herself at the free throw line again. That's a very similar trait to Tyra Buss from a season ago. She also has the point guard position, not afraid of the contact. And the rebound comes to Brenna Wise, and a new possession for the Hoosiers, looking for their biggest lead of the game.
Let's see if Papberg attacks again here.
Yaney to the basket with the left hand. The Hoosiers lead by 7.
It's been a very big mindset shift here for the Hoosiers in the fourth quarter, led by Allie Papberg. They are attacking the rim at will right now, and the Panthers can't stop it.
And Johnson is rejected. Ball on the floor and a jump ball. And Allie Papberg has lost a shoe.
And she was still diving on the floor trying to get the jump ball.
The fearlessness from Allie Papberg. And this Hoosier faithful, they appreciate it.
Benji Yaney's had the block there. She's had just as important role as Papberg, Wise, anyone on this ball club here in the second half. Also had the layup a moment ago. She has played a great game.
So Indiana, their biggest lead of the night at 7 here late in this fourth quarter. Wallstad going to work underneath, high off the basket, no good. Gets her own rebound and gets the bucket plus the foul.
Are you having fun, Josh?
This has been all sorts of fun.
Both teams going back and forth. You're throwing punches and counter punches. A lot of fun to watch here in Bloomington. And it's only the first night of the season.
Both these teams trying to figure things out on the run as the season gets underway. Plenty of new faces, both sides. Wallstad can't complete the 3-point play. The Indiana lead remains at 5. Wise straight to the basket, and she gets it to go and gets the foul.
Another straight line drive. Indiana has found the weakness in the Panther zone. It took 3 quarters to do it, but they've done it. here. That is 5 straight possessions now where either Pat Berg, Wise, or Ben Duganey has driven with authority into the lane and has been able to get either an extra possession, free throws, or points off of it.
And Megan Wallstad, the freshman out of Apple Valley, Minnesota, Minnesota Miss Basketball, fouls out in her first college game. She goes to the bench. She finishes with 11 points. So that's a big loss for this Milwaukee team going down the stretch, as Indiana can now stretch their lead out to 8 with this free throw. And it's out to 8. Biggest lead of the night for Indiana. Goulbe will replace Brenna Wise, who gets a nice ovation coming off.
Indiana's last 10 points have either come from a layup or from a free throw.
Getting it done in different ways. They're only shooting 39%, but have scored 60 points here tonight. Milwaukee trying to stage the comeback now. Staver to the basket, and she kisses it off the glass for 2.
The Panthers just won't go away here. They're just clawing themselves to stay in it.
Still plenty of time left in this basketball game. Berger finds Goulbe. She can handle the ball a little bit. 10 to shoot. Yaney kicks for Berger. For 3, no good. Rebound comes to Royster, and she puts it back.
The Indiana offense has woken up in the 4th, and they have shot the ball a lot better here in this period.
And almost stolen away by Yaney, and it's going to be a foul away from the ball, an offensive foul.
Jamie Wright doesn't like it. She's frustrated, but that's what Ben Duganey's done here in the second half. She has taken Jamie Wright, the Panthers' top scorer, phenomenal in the first half, have taken her completely out of the game here in the second 2 periods.
That foul against Lizzie Odegaard. We reach the under 5-minute part of this 4th quarter. Off the rim by Goulbe, she gets her own rebound. And Terry Morin telling Pat Berg to slow things down. Time starting to become a little bit more of a factor for Milwaukee.
Expect the Hoosiers to attack the basket again here.
Pat Berg, a jumper, and she is fouled. The foul against Brandy Bisping, and that will send us to the under 5 media timeout. The Hoosiers lead by 8, but Milwaukee not going anywhere. The final 4:40 coming up on the other side here on BTN Plus.
Palacios readying for another goal kick. Swartz now controls for the Hoosiers. And that'll be Ranieri to chase this down in the corner. And he's just going to have to send that out for a throw. Good pressure put on by Spencer Glass. Those are also small things, but it helps when you have players that can back you up. When you have to make those tough runs and, I guess, sprints down that wing, you have guys to back you up later on. And now that one out for another throw. Tiger Graham heads it on, now into the midfield. Palazzolo goes down, and it will be a whistle and a set piece now for Indiana. A chance to put one into the box potentially.
Increased physicality from Dartmouth. That must have been one of the things that Coach O'Shaughnessy was talking about. He wants his guys to be bulldogs out there. Not afraid of Indiana at all.
Gutman now on the left side. And it's cut out, will be a throw. Some physical play there as Swartz goes down, but Moore's able to win it back. Glass now for Indiana. The left foot swung in,
Headed back, Palazzolo shot it, saved off the line. Now Gutman. Swartz, curler just over the bar. Good pressure from Indiana and nearly a second goal.
That's called being in the right place at the right time. In that particular defensive alignment, it's really that defender's job to make sure he's covering the area the keeper's not in. But a lot of times, that defender won't get there because they see an unmarked man. But that's exactly what you need to do. That's a sign of good coaching.
Now it's Johnny Nierenberg coming back on, a starter for this Dartmouth team today. Kota Sakurai will make way. So more subs coming on for Dartmouth. Yet we have not seen two of the better players in not only Hanover, New Hampshire for the Dartmouth Big Green, but in the Ivy League. Iduva Ikoba has not played along with Justin Dunawa.
And we speculated on that. Perhaps there's an injury that we aren't privy to or something of the nature, because when you're down a goal and you need one, those are the two guys you might look to first and foremost.
Somebody just got ejected, it looks like, off of the Big Green bench. The linesman just pointed, and somebody's walking off the field now for Dartmouth. It doesn't look like it's one of the assistant coaches. Maybe a trainer, something of the sort, but nonetheless, somebody has been thrown out of the bench area, at least for Dartmouth, as play continues.
We talked about tensions being high. We know that Dartmouth in their first game under Coach O'Shaughnessy would love to ring in the regime with a win, but they're going to have to come from behind to do that.
The tensions kind of started early in this game. Right as this game was about to start, Dartmouth was warming up on the field. They didn't go into the locker room because they don't really have a locker room, I guess, right now, or at least in between games, but they were ready to play right when the clock hit 0. Indiana was nowhere to be seen, and I think that kind of perturbed them a bit.
They already came in with a chip on their shoulder, and it's only going to grow with that ejection. Really, what you try to achieve with an ejection is you try to rally your team around that singular moments, and that could be something for Dartmouth they could look at and say, hey, we got fired up and we started to play better after this, or things go south, you might say, hey, we need to make sure we keep our tensions in check going forward.
Dawson McCartney making way as Jordan Balin comes on for the Big Green. They're still right in this one. 22 minutes to go midway through this second half, and they only find themselves down 1-0. And Indiana, though, has seen some good moments in the second half, but their one goal, basically just a deflection into the back of the net. Long ball sent forward and straight back to Palacios. Balin now. Gutman able to just usher that one right out of bounds as he gets shoved down again. The physicality continues as Gutman picks himself up off the turf.
A little bit of a late shove at that. It looked like Gutman had good position for that ball. There was really no chance that the defender was going to get there, but they're just trying to get into the skin of Indiana, maybe make the Hoosiers make a bad choice.
A few years ago in this Classic, Stanford was here and emotions ran high. It was actually Grant Lillard who got a second yellow card in the first half and was sent off. The IU Credit Union Classic can get a bit chippy, as it has in past years. It is here tonight a bit too. As Gutman springs Griffin Dorsey free, he has to put it in the back of the net, and he does. One-on-one with Palacios, and Dorsey does the rest.
We talked about getting these prime opportunities and taking advantage. It won't get much easier than that for Griffin Dorsey. Nutmegs the keeper.
You got to give credit, though, to Andrew Gutman. What a peach of a pass as Griffin Dorsey has to replace his divot over there. The knee slide didn't quite work as he expected, but he has Indiana's brace. They lead 2-0, 20 minutes to go. Top of the second here in Bloomington, Indiana. A beautiful night for baseball. Probably one of the better nights Indiana has played here in Bloomington. Just a brutal winter, but tonight's nice.
Having sat through some of those games, I can hardly agree with you. This is balmy by comparison to some of the nights when it was in the 30s, 40s, even in the 50s when it felt like it was in the 30s. And I can tell you the fans are pleased with that. That's why we have such a good crowd tonight.
It is a very good crowd, and Indiana in their pink jerseys for sorority night here at the ballpark as Michael Massey drills this at Jeremy Houston at shortstop. Quick throw over to first, and that's out number one.
Yeah, pink shirts for sorority night. There's another T-shirt giveaway going on. I just learned about the Grand Slam hamburger, which sounds awesome, if not a heart attack also.
Yeah, that's a big burger at the ballpark. If you come out to Bart Kaufman Field, it's a lot of meat and cheese, basically, with a fried egg on top.
And there are still seats available, so come on down, put your order in for the 2 patties with the fried egg. And some bacon, too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Now it's Doran Turchin coming to the plate, left fielder, hitting .240 on the season. Stever once again ahead with strike one. And there's that breaking ball, and it's strike two quickly.
Yeah. Well, all I can tell you so far is Stever is working very efficiently. And it's what you want to see. I'm sure that's what the pitching coach wants to see. He's looking right in. He's ready to go. As soon as the guy's in the box, he's there.
16 pitches so far for Jonathan Stever. Here is the 17th, and it's fouled out of play.
94 miles an hour.
Yeah, that velocity has been up a tick a bit tonight as well. He's been in those mid to kind of high 90s.
He hit 95 and 96, if I'm not mistaken.
Which is a little bit higher than normal, but Stever really feeling it out there tonight.
Yeah.
Knows his team needs a bounce back.
Yeah.
Here's the 0-2. It's in the dirt.
One thing is that IU plays well at home, and that's really been their strength this year. And the thing that's been holding them back, if anything's holding them back, has been their road record. They'd like to be higher in the conference, so they're looking for a strong home series here to rectify that.
Here's the 1-2. It's outside. And speaking of that home record, 16-3 compared to 7-5 away from Bart Kaufman.
Yeah. The other thing is, many of those games played in cold, bad weather.
Yeah, it's been tough to even get games in. A lot of doubleheaders so far. Here's the 2-2. Right there on the outside corner. Strikeout number 4 for Jonathan Stever.
Could be setting up to be a long evening for Illinois if he keeps that up. 4 out of 5 batters have struck out.
Just straight paint right there from Stever. Feynman barely has to move his glove.
Yeah. And I've heard Coach Lemonis talk, too, about the weather and so forth and how that can be, discouraging, disappointing. You want to play baseball in beautiful weather. It's a summer game, really, when it comes right down to it. But they've hung in through a lot of that bad weather.
And it's been Indiana and Illinois as Jack Yalowitz swings through strike one. But Jonathan Stever has been on his game here today. Already 4 strikeouts, and he has 5 outs. And the 0-1 right there on the inside corner again. And we've seen 0-2 already a few times here tonight.
I don't believe he's really been behind anyone at this point. Simply not messing around.
Just absolutely cruising. 70 strikeouts now this season for Jonathan Stever. And there is 71 as they'll have to throw it down to first. Feynman does just that. And how about that from Jonathan Stever? 5 out of the first 6 Fighting Illini down on strikes. We head to the bottom of the second. It's still Indiana 2 and Illinois nothing.
Here we are, Jack Sparrow, Indiana Golf captain this year, and I've got to say, first question. I don't want to dwell on this too much. Captain Jack Sparrow. What do you have to say about that? If people go out and they see Jack Sparrow playing for Indiana, what type of golf are they going to see? All right, so you said putting was a major part of your game. So let's do a little putting demo because I think everybody always say drive for show, putt for
exactly.
death. So here we go. So what do you got here set up? What's the best piece of putting advice you could give, or that you've gotten in the past? All right, well I'm going to keep that in mind when I'm out there next time. This has been Jack Sparrow. Jack, good luck rest of the season. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
With today's win, Indiana became the first ever team to go 8-0 in the Big Ten. They finished off a perfect regular season in the conference, and that accomplishment is not lost on this team.
Welcome into the Quest for 9 report. I'm Josh Eastern. The Hoosiers come away with a 1-0 win over the UConn Huskies tonight, closing out Classic Weekend in Bloomington. Coach Todd Yeagley is very pleased once again with Indiana's performance. A very similar first half as to Friday's match, but this time Indiana only needed 1 goal to get the win because it was a stout backline performance. Emotions were running high after the match for Indiana. Coach Yeagley got the Gatorade bath. He had a big fist pump to the crowd after the final whistle, and it was just a great night for Indiana. The 8th largest crowd here at Bill Armstrong Stadium saw the Hoosiers advance to their 2nd straight College Cup. Welcome into the Quest for 9 report. I'm Josh Eastern, and unfortunately for Indiana, the Quest for 9 will continue. The Maryland Terrapins take down the Indiana Hoosiers this evening in the national semifinal of the College Cup here in Santa Barbara. It was a tough night for Indiana in the first half. Maryland got their first goal in the 37th minute. Then in the second half, Donovan Pines provided the ultimate blow to Indiana. They had a bunch of chances in that second half, but for Indiana, they just were not finding the back of the net.